In this episode, Fate and Mine are seen inside a horse-drawn carriage. Fate is puzzled by Mine's seemingly insatiable appetite. He wonders if Mine truly possesses wrath and not gluttony. Despite just buying provisions, Mine has already consumed all of them. Mine explains that anger burns a lot of calories. While observing Mine's petite figure, Fate asks where all the food goes with her eating so much. Upon hearing the question, Mine gets angry and instantly, her large axe becomes incredibly heavy, causing the carriage wheel to buckle under its weight. As a result, the carriage cannot continue its journey and needs repairs. Near their stop, there's a peaceful village close to the Gallia city, suggesting a powerful figure residing there. Adjacent to the village is a magnificent castle, and Greed mentions it used to be Castle Housen. While walking, Fate notices a man sitting on a tree stump, polishing his sword. Fate inquires about the village leader, expressing his intention to stay temporarily. Surprisingly, the man is the village leader and Greed recognizes his sword as the Holy Sword. They realize he is the village's protector. Unexpectedly, the man challenges Fate to a sword duel. Fate attempts to use Identify, but the man is aware of Fate trying to identify him. The man reveals Fate's level, despite being level 1, has a status exceeding 2 million. Fate is puzzled, wondering when the man used Identify on him. Drawing his sword, the man challenges Fate to fight. A sword duel ensues. Fate tries to attack, but the man parries successfully. Fate attacks again, but the man, using his own sword, forces Fate to drop his weapon, defeating him. Fate believes losing means he can't stay there, but the village leader considers it a test and allows Fate to stay with one condition: he must undergo training. Fate suspects the leader's motives, and he explains that he observed Fate's lack of knowledge in countering Identify and many unmastered skills. Although Fate can defeat monsters, facing humans is challenging. Greed advises caution, finding the situation suspicious, especially with no requested reward. Despite this, Fate thinks it's a rare opportunity to receive training from a holy knight and accepts the offer. The man introduces himself as Aaron Barbados. Simultaneously, Mine approaches them. Aaron already recognizes Mine as a skilled warrior just by sight. Fate and Mine then proceed to their lodging. While Mine sleeps soundly, Fate and Aaron engage in training outside. To begin, Aaron suggests hand-to-hand combat, stating it's the best way to control one's status. Aaron acknowledges Fate's unfamiliarity with unarmed combat, a common occurrence for those who gain strength suddenly. Aaron teaches Fate starting from the correct stance to proper punching and kicking techniques. He also instructs Fate to maintain and unconsciously control his strength. In his heart, Fate admits that he does feel he can move better by managing his strength and is eager to control the status he possesses. However, during a sparring session with Aaron, Gluttony skill suddenly activates. Aaron is surprised to see Fate's eye change color. As Fate throws punches at Aaron, he is astonished by Fate's suddenly improved movements. From a distance, Greed thinks that Fate seems to move well when in a half-hungry mode. The training ends at dusk. On the way back, Fate senses a monster's scent from a large castle near the village. Upon reaching the house, Aaron is shocked to find it in disarray, with Mine sound asleep amidst scattered food ingredients. Aaron decides to ask the villagers for more supplies. Fate is visibly annoyed by the scene. Aaron walks back from the villagers' homes with food, glancing at the massive castle shining under the moonlight. His face reflects sadness, and he takes out a small knife from his pocket, gazing at it. Inside the house, Fate notices a large painting on the wall featuring Aaron with a woman and a boy. According to Greed, the boy resembles Fate. Greed speculates that there must be a reason why Aaron became the village leader. The next morning, Aaron resumes training with Fate, giving him a tree branch to deflect Aaron's sword attacks. Fate is skeptical, thinking the branch will break instantly. Aaron assures him that after his training, Fate can do it. Aaron attacks with his sword, and Fate, estimating the direction and height, redirects the blade with minimal energy, successfully blocking the attack with the branch. Aaron is delighted, seeing that Fate can now control the status. In the evening, while having dinner together, Fate announces that he will return the next morning, expressing gratitude to Aaron for the training. Seeing Mine eating eagerly, Aaron encourages her to eat more since there's plenty of vegetables and meat. Mine remarks that all food tastes the same to her, as she lacks the sense of taste. Greed explains that it's the price she pays for the wrath skill. Mine then mentions there's something she needs to do. Suddenly, Aaron looks out the window toward the castle. Fate asks what's there, and Aaron reveals it's his former residence named Housen. It used to be his castle. Naturally, Mine and Fate are shocked. Aaron continues, explaining that 15 years ago, when he left Housen on a mission, a crown monster born from hatred killed all the castle's occupants. Since then, Housen has been ruled by the Lord of Death, Lich Lord, and Aaron's family is still trapped there until now. Fate then felt hungry, so he asked for permission to leave the house for a while. Outside, Fate gazed at the castle. Aaron approached him and asked if he wanted to go to the castle. Aaron said if so, he would join. He mentioned it as a good opportunity to resolve the past. Mine joined them, stating she would guard the village while they were away, of course, requesting a reward of 50 gold coins. Fate and Aaron began their assault on the castle. Aaron admired Fate's archery skills, combining petrifying arrows and sandstorm magic, calling it an extraordinary technique due to its difficulty level. By defeating many skeleton soldiers guarding the castle, they finally managed to infiltrate it. As they ascended to the second floor, what they saw was astonishing. They found Aaron's wife and son still alive there, accompanied by several maids and butlers. Aaron was warmly welcomed, and his wife and son, named Diana and Rook, expressed that they had been waiting for his arrival. They eventually engaged in a warm conversation, resembling a typical family. Fate, witnessing the scene, asked Greed what was actually happening. Greed explained that they seemed to be alive, but it was actually an illusion. Rook then asked Aaron if he brought gifts, and Aaron confirmed that he did. While reaching into his pocket to retrieve the gifts, Rook suddenly attacked Aaron with his sword. Fortunately, Aaron managed to block it with a small sword he had, which turned out to be the promised gift. Rook started talking about how he had to guard the castle as his father was always away for work. His father was busy in the capital, leaving him and his mother to fend off monsters. Aaron drew his sword, but Fate suggested letting him dispel the illusion. Fate then commanded Greed to transform into a scythe, with Greed explaining that illusion magic could be cut with a scythe, but they would also be affected. Souls devoured by the gluttony skill would suffer forever, akin to eternal hell. Fate pondered that he couldn't do it. Aaron then said that he would take care of his family members. Fate agreed, deciding to search for Lich Lord. Aaron, currently sparring with Rook, felt that Rook was getting stronger. He recalled that Rook followed his teachings and never skipped training. Fate headed to another room and found Lich Lord there. Fate observed that Lich Lord's status was over 1 million. Lich Lord attacked Fate with his large scythe, but Fate managed to block it. Then Fate leaped and destroyed Lich Lord's scythe with a single slash. Defenseless, Lich Lord then used his power to control his undead. He resurrected some castle inhabitants surrounding Fate, and they all pleaded for help. Fate realized he couldn't attack them. As the undead were about to attack Fate, Aaron arrived and eliminated them. Aaron saw Diana there, recalling his promise to return immediately after defeating the monster. He felt a twinge of regret, realizing he should have come back sooner to ensure their safety. Nevertheless, Aaron strengthened his resolve, deciding to let them rest peacefully. With the power of his sword, Aaron unleashed the Grand Cross technique. Lich and the undead seemed affected, but it wasn't enough. Fate then saw Rook's sword there, so he took it and joined Aaron. Crossing their swords, Aaron and Fate together unleashed the Grand Cross technique. With their combined strength, they finally defeated Lich Lord. After the incident, Rook and Diana's lifeless bodies were seen. Aaron looked at them, apologizing for making them wait so long. At the same time, Aaron saw the spirits of Rook and Diana there. Rook's spirit said that his father was not at fault and had saved them. Aaron regretted his past, realizing he should have stayed by their side as they were more important than his mission. Aaron apologized, but Rook and Diana said it was okay because Aaron did it all for them. Aaron then gave the promised small sword as a gift to Rook's body, apologizing for the delay. Rook accepted the sword, thanking his father. The spirits of Diana and Rook began to fade, and Aaron hugged them. At the same time, a red light emerged from Lich Lord's skull, flying towards them, but Fate noticed and shot it with an arrow. Fate didn't want anything to disturb the family reunion. It turned out the red light was Lich Lord's core, and Fate successfully killed it, activating his gluttony skill. The spirits of Diana and Rook then faded away, and the castle returned to its dark and dilapidated state, resembling a building long abandoned. Aaron had accepted their departure, telling them to wait because he would eventually catch up with them after completing his mission. Outside the castle, Aaron mentioned that his level had surpassed the limit, attributing it to perhaps fighting alongside Fate. Greed suggested it might indeed be the case, although it was limited to those genuinely acknowledged by the skill's owner. Aaron turned around, stating he would continue clearing out the monsters. It turned out there were still many skeleton monsters there, and together they eliminated them all. The next morning, Fate and Aaron returned, greeted by Mine, who seemed angry that they had been away for too long. Observing this, Aaron then handed gold and a bonus to Mine. She accepted it silently, mentioning that she needed the money to rebuild her village. Mai also said that money didn't lie, and everyone would understand when they had lived for a long time. Fate was puzzled by Mai's statement, wondering what she meant by living for a long time. Aaron then mentioned feeling like he had seen Mai before and now remembered. He saw her while hunting monsters there about 50 years ago. Aaron noticed that Mai's appearance hadn't changed since then, as she had perfected her warrior skills. Mai commented that Aaron was skilled at judging and that he could approach her level if he trained for 1,000 years. As she walked away, Mai stated that it was the limit of human capabilities. Aaron then inquired about Mai's true identity. Mai replied that she was a phantom not allowed to die. Fate finally bid farewell to Aaron, who said that Fate's business was finished, so he should return to the village because there was something important he wanted to discuss. The scene shifted to a room where two holy knights, Raphael and Memel, were delighted because they had finally found a philosopher's stone that could heal all kinds of injuries and illnesses. However, at that moment, someone reported that Haddo had been killed by Mukuro. According to the report, Mukuro was not a monster but a warrior. This news enraged Raphael. The episode concluded with this revelation.